हुआ, really I feel pride and proud that we are the pioneers of higher education in the whole of थाने डिस्ट्रिक्ट। थाने डिस्ट्रिक्ट में उस समय में कोई भी डिग्री कॉलेज नहीं था जब ये आरकेटी कॉलेज शुरू हुआ। तो उस आरकेटी कॉलेज में हिस्ट्री सब्जेक्ट की शुरुआत होती है 1961 में। आस्ते आस्ते 1968 तक हमारे पास फुल फ्लैज डिपार्टमेंट विथ पीजी भी होता है। तो मैं आपको बताऊं कि ये बहुत ही गर्व की बात है कि हमारे पास आरकेटी कॉलेज में जब इतिहास पढ़ाया जाता था उस समय पूरे थाने डिस्ट्रिक्ट में कहीं पर भी डिग्री कॉलेज में इतिहास नहीं था, क्योंकि डिग्री कॉलेज ही नहीं था। डिग्री कॉलेज नहीं था जब ये आरकेटी कॉलेज शुरू हुआ। तो आरकेटी कॉलेज में हिस्ट्री सब्जेक्ट की शुरुआत होती है 1961 में। आवाज जो रिपीट होती है 68 तक हमारे पास। ठीक है बोलकर सर?
जी सर, क्या हुआ? बोलिए सर, कुछ प्रॉब्लम है सर?
हाँ, आवाज वापस आ रही थी, मतलब इको हो रहा था।
हाँ, ठीक है।
तो ये जो आरकेटी कॉलेज है उसने उस समय ही बच्चों को इतिहास के बारे में यानी इतिहास की शिक्षा देनी शुरू की। मैं आपको बताऊं कि आरकेटी कॉलेज उस समय पूना यूनिवर्सिटी से एफिलिएटेड था। तो हमें जो हिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट जो हमने शुरू की थी वो पूना यूनिवर्सिटी से शुरू की थी। और पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन की जो पढ़ाई है, जो एमए वगैरह जब हमने शुरू किया उस समय में भी आरकेटी कॉलेज पहला ही कॉलेज था जिसने पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन शुरू किया था पूरे थाने डिस्ट्रिक्ट में। तो दोस्तों, मेरा ये कहना है कि आरकेटी कॉलेज पॉइनर है हायर एजुकेशन के लिए और हमारे सब्जेक्ट के लिए। जहां तक हमारी हिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट है, हम लोग हमेशा कोशिश करते हैं कि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को पुस्तक तो एक जरिया है, उसके साथ में फील्ड विजिट्स रहे, उसके साथ में उनको ये जानकारी रहे कि इतिहास के बाकी जो सोर्सेस है जैसे आर्कियोलॉजिकल सोर्सेस है उससे इतिहास कैसा जाना जाता है। मैं सिर्फ आपको ये बताऊं, एक जो पत्थर रहता है उसमें से भी इतिहास का विद्यार्थी पास्ट को ढूंढ लेता है, अपने उस पत्थर के इतिहास को भी समझने की कोशिश करता है। तो इन चंद शब्दों के साथ में मैं आप सबका शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं। आई एम थैंकफुल टू माय डिपार्टमेंट कलीग्स, आई एम थैंकफुल टू नीलम कपूर मैडम, आई एम थैंकफुल टू सुकेन शाह जी फॉर joining this particular program of today's program. I wish that the program will be very successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nan sir.
Over to him.
Thank you, Nan sir. Thank you for giving such a nice historical brief about our Department of History and such a good information, sir. Thank you once again. I now request our Honorable Vice Principal Madam Kapoor Madam, Neelam Kapoor Madam, to give the inaugural address and an introduction and a few words about History Association and its activity. Kapoor Madam, please.
Good afternoon and welcome to Dr. Suken Shah, today's speaker. Nand Bagaria sir, HOD of History Department. Dr. Rupali Mukashi, convener of the History Association, all the colleagues of History Department, and all other teachers and my dear students. It's always been very interesting, at least for me, to study the history. जब भी हम बचपन में नई बुक्स लाते तो सबसे पहली बुक खोलना अच्छा लगता था हिस्ट्री का, और उसको फटाफट सब पढ़ो, वो स्टोरीज की तरह पढ़ा जाता था। बट हिस्ट्री क्यों पढ़ते हैं हम? इसलिए कि हम उससे कुछ सीख ले सके, आज की जिंदगी को बेहतर बना सके, ये समझ के कि पीछे क्या हुआ, उस क्या गलतियां हुई जिससे एज अ नेशन, एज अ देश या एक पर्सन ने सफर किया, और क्या अच्छी बातें हुई जिसको हम आगे करके इसको बचाया जा सकता है और बढ़ाया जा सकता है देश को या पर्सनल को। सो हिस्ट्री सिर्फ एक कहानी नहीं है जो बचपन में हमने पढ़ी थी, हिस्ट्री से बहुत कुछ सीखा जा सकता है, इसलिए हिस्ट्री हमेशा पढ़ते रहना चाहिए। किसी भी चीज की गहराई में अगर आपको जाना है तो उसके पास्ट को देखो और अपने प्रेजेंट को बनाओ। इसके साथ साथ हिस्ट्री पढ़ने वाले और पढ़ाने वाले, अब पढ़ाने वाले जो हिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट है, ये उनकी जिम्मेदारी है कि हिस्ट्री क्यों पढ़ाई जा रही है और वो लोगों तक कैसे पहुंचे, उसका एनालिसिस कैसे हो। वो हिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट आरकेटी कॉलेज का बहुत अच्छी तरह से करता है। वेरियस बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम कंडक्ट करके या किसी एक चीज को लेकर, जैसे उन्होंने आज एक लिपि के बारे में स्टडी करना बताया, हम सोच सकते हैं कि ये लिपि क्या थी, क्यों आई और क्यों लुप्त हो गई, ताकि हम इस बार जो अभी लिपि हमारे प्रेजेंस में यूज में है उसको हम कैसे बचाएं। इसको जानने का, पढ़ने का क्या फायदा? सिंपली तुम्हें पता चलेगा कि उस वक्त लोग क्या करते थे, इस तरह की लिपि को इस्तेमाल क्यों किया गया, और अगर मुझे वो लिपि आती है तो उस वक्त के जो भी मेरे कुछ भी है हिस्टोरिकल चीजें मुझे मिलती है जिसमें वो लिपि का यूज है, तो हम उसको पढ़ के काफी चीजों का पता कर सकते हैं। अब एज अ हिस्ट्री के स्टूडेंट, ये तुम सब स्टूडेंट्स की जिम्मेदारी है कि समाज को बताएं कि हमारा ये इतिहास था, इससे हमें ये शिक्षा लेनी चाहिए और ये शिक्षा को हमें फ्यूचर बनाने के लिए कैसे इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए। ये सभी काम की ट्रेनिंग हिस्ट्री स्टूडेंट को हिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट बहुत अच्छी तरह से दे रहा है। मेरी तरफ से आप सब पूरी हिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट को कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट, and I again welcome Dr. Suken Shah to give us the knowledge of what this script was earlier, why it was lost, though we may not be able to recover it, but at least we can save the present scripts. Thank you to all. Over to Hema madam.
Thank you, Kapoor madam. Thank you very much for your appreciation, for your encouraging words, and also making all understand that how the past, present, and future are interrelated with each other. So the importance of history subject very much lies in this fact. Thank you, Kapoor madam. I now call upon our convener of the program and our dear Dr. Rupali madam to introduce the guest of the day, Dr. Shah. Over to Dr. Rupali madam. Madam, please.
Thank you, Hema madam. Good afternoon to you all. On behalf of the History Association of RKT College, I welcome you all for today's very unique and interactive session on Kharoshti script. Kharoshti is one of the earliest known scripts of India, dating back to over 2000 years. Unfortunately, a lesser known script even to the students of history. A script that was contemporary of the Brahmi script and was a localized script of the Gandhar and adjoining area. Today, we are extremely fortunate that Dr. Suken Shah is with us. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce today's speaker. At a very young age, Dr. Suken has a rich and varied experience of research in the areas of ancient Indian culture, linguistics, numismatics, archaeology, and scripts, especially Kharoshti and Brahmi. A student of the prestigious Deccan College, he received his PhD on investigations into the Sharva type of silver coins from the Saurashtra region, Gujarat. He has also completed a postgraduate diploma in museology and conservation from the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya at Mumbai. He has an exciting on-site experience with some of the stalwarts in the field of archaeology like Dr. Vasant Shinde and Professor Akira Shimada. He has participated in the excavations at Karsola, a late Harappan painted graver and historical site at Haryana. He has worked on the survey and documentation of Buddhist, Jain, and Brahmanical rock-cut caves and monolith temples in Maharashtra. Last but not the least, he has participated in the Nagardhan excavation. Nagardhan or Nandivardhan, as it was known, was then the capital of Vakataka dynasty of Vidarbha. One of the most exciting outcome of this excavation was the discovery of the sealings of Vakataka queen Prabhavati Gupta. This is extremely close to my heart after having worked in the area of women as seen in the inscriptions for quite some time. Congratulations to you and your team, sir. Currently, he is undertaking lectures of numismatics and epigraphy for the Central of Extramural Studies, University of Mumbai. Actually, this can go on for quite some time, but I know you all are eagerly waiting for sir to speak on Kharoshti. As sir has suggested, आप सब हम मुझे I'm sure that you are ready with your pen and paper. सरांनी सजेस्ट केल्याप्रमाणे हे अतिशय इंटरॅक्टिव्ह सेशन असणार आहे. सर तुम्हाला ही लिपी लिहायला शिकवणार आहेत, न्यूमरल्स दाखवणार आहेत, त्यामुळे तुम्ही तुमचे कागद आणि पेन तयार राहा. I wish you, Suken sir, I wish you great research endeavors in the future and request you to open today's session. Thank you very much, and over to Suken sir.
Thank you, Rupali ma'am, for the wonderful, kind and generous introduction, and of course arranging the today's talk. I also would like to thank the guests, not guests for me, of course, but Neelam ma'am, Praveen sir, Nanda sir, Hema ma'am, Brunei ma'am, and all the other people whom name I've missed, directly or indirectly, who have been part of the organizing committee. I would really like to uh, give my sincere thanks. Uh, Earlier, I was quite happy to be a part of this event, but now I feel really very proud that I didn't knew the history, of course, but now I'm more proud to be a part of this particular event. And yes, uh, of course, this is an history department, and it is really have taken a very big step to understand thing into its core. Hence, of course, today's lecture, as it was suggested by ma'am, of course, to have this particular talk of the Kharoshti script, which is generally not been discussed much. We generally discussed Brahmi more. And earlier, of course, there were very few students back then when I was in degree college. But today I see a quite new number of students who are so interested in learning the script. And of course, I won't bore you with much of the theories, but we'll definitely go through directly with the script. And hopefully at the end of this lecture, you'll be definitely able to read some part of the actual inscriptions on the stones or on the coins, of course. Can we begin, of course, with the kind permission of ma'am? Can I start the lecture? Can I start the talk?
Yes, sir.
Can I start? Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, मी तुम्हाला co-host केलेला आहे, so you can present your PPTs.
Thank you. So, screen दिसत आहे का सगळ्यांना?
Yes, sir.
Yes. हो सर दिसतंय.
Okay, so I don't mind if any of the student keep their audio on. Of course, provided there's no sound in the background. So in case if you need to ask any questions or anything, you can definitely ask. Anyways, so start. So anyways, script of course is one of the very important what do I say? Very important. In fact, the emergence of the whole writing systems that was a very big discovery of humankind. What I would say was one of the most important milestone towards the whole civilization. And it is said by scholars that humankind is defined by language, but civilization is defined by writing. And of course, because of this, we have many written records from the past that has been today the primary source to understand the human past. And it is also and we all know how the writing started from Mesopotamia, then Egypt, then China, Indus script, Of course, in the script is not yet successfully deciphered. But then, as far as ancient Indian script is concerned, we had two major scripts. One was Brahmi and another was Kharoshti. So let us talk about this Kharoshti more. Can you see this slide?
Yes, sir.
Is this slide available? Visible,
Yes,
the name
sir.
of the script. Okay. So let's begin with, of course, the name of the script. As today we call it as Kharoshti, but in the beginning, when the research started of understanding the script, understanding the script which was not yet deciphered, it was just in the beginning stage where people were just trying to understand the letters. During that time, this particular script was called by various names, sometimes Bactrian, Indo-Bactrian, Kabulian, and many more. One of the interesting reference जे आपल्याला मिळतं ते ललित विस्तार सूत्रमध्ये 10व्या चॅप्टरमध्ये in the 10th chapter of this particular sutra, that is लिपिशाल दर्शन परिवर्तक, we get a list of almost 64 scripts. Now, interestingly, of course, the first one is Brahmi and the second one is Kharoshti. And apart from this, these two scripts, of course, there are many other scripts which is there were many names such as Devalipi, Nagalipi, Yakshalipi, Gandhalipi, and many more. And this so interesting text and very important evidence and the written evidence about the script. But still, the name of the script was more came up with this particular text called as Fa Yuan Shulin, which was a Chinese encyclopedia roughly dated to 7th century CE. And the scholar who actually studied this particular text was Terence D. Lakhu Perry. So he referred to this particular text and he came out with the script that actually is written from right to left. Yes, that is one of the most important feature of this particular script is that it is written from right to left. Generally, आपण सगळे लोक left to right लिहितो. Even Brahmi, what we know is written from left to right. Interestingly, Kharoshti is a script that is written from right to left. And of course, Bueller, who worked extensively in Indian paleography, was also, I hope you're all well accustomed with these terms called as epigraphy or paleography. Epigraphy is, of course, study of these inscriptions. त्याला पुराभिलेख विद्या आपण म्हणतो आपण. And paleography is also to understanding the orthography of the script, of the letters, how it changes. And a different study altogether. And of course, Bueller was one of the expert of that, and who studied heavily on Indian scripts. Also believed that, of course, yes, this was the actual or correct name for the script to be given. Talking about the etymology of this particular script, there were many scholars such as Sylvain Levy who believe that this particular word Kharoshti actually came from Kharoshtra, which means which is a toponym of a name, a place name, which is Kashghar. This particular name Kashghar is actually from is a place somewhere in China, in fact. And some scholars also believe that this Kharoshti actually came from the word Khara Oshtha. So this Khara is nothing but a donkey, and Oshtha is of course a lip. So donkey's lip. This was one of the very wide, myth that was definitely being very percolated in the writings. And of course, this was one of the reason, as ma'am also said in the introduction, that Kharoshti was a script which was specifically, survived, or I would say evolved and survived in northwest part of Indian subcontinent. It was Afghanistan, Pakistan, Hindu Kush area and all. And there they were, it was a land of donkey and camels. So that is why this particular myth must have been widely circulated. Then it was H.W. Bailey who also, gave his meaning of the script. that it is nothing but some kind of royal writing that was given. But the most important thing is the Kharoshti that we actually see is quite the reference is quite later. But we don't know what it was called before. So scholars do say that it is more, the Sanskritized name of some kind of original Iranian name that we actually don't know today. Or, there may be some new evidence in future to know more about the etymology and actual meaning of the script. As I said, that this particular script was more in this particular area. Can you see my cursor? Is my cursor visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is what the area which was more, we get this inscriptions, copper plates and coins. It's more in this area. And of course, in most of the parts of Central Asia. It didn't populate much in,
सैया जी
Iranian
सैया सैया जी
there are hardly one or two occurrences that two in the pan Indian level, but of course it's more in this particular area. So this is just a very interesting script. That is why, see, we all know that the script, the modern script that we use today, all have evolved from Brahmi, but not from Kharoshti. But it is also, as Pam also said, it is very interesting to also know how what was the nature of the script. So we'll see. Now, the most important thing that generally is being debated among the scholars almost all the time was from where did this script came. Now, of course, it is never been sudden. So for many period of time, it was believed that it came from much Aramaic letters. Of course, it is uh, not from this area. But then many of the letters that you can see on your screen. So top this particular thing are all the Aramaic letters, and these are all Kharoshti letters. So तुम्हाला थोडं थोडं साम्य दिसेल की असं शक्य आहे की इथून ते शब्द किंवा लेटर उचललेले असतील. सो देखने में पहले नजर में तो जरूर ऐसा लगेगा कि ये स्क्रिप्ट यहाँ से लिया है. और एक और चीज जो assumption को strong करती है वो ये है कि that has also been written from right to left. So this is again one of the very important point that has to be observed. But then of course scholars later on also came up with the letters that are not similar to the Aramaic, such as these that you can see on your screen. क ख ग घ त प ये नहीं similar है. So again, it has always been discussed that of course the script always whenever there is a new script or come they already had Aramaic in their background. So there is a possibility they must have taken some letters, but of course the script evolved on its own. Now, how did it deciphered? Now there is this is little interesting to know. Of course, in the beginning, when there was the thrust of antiquarianism in India, it's very interesting that thousands and thousands of coins were found in the areas of Pakistan, Afghanistan, and all these coins were of Indo-Greeks, Scythians, Parthians, and unfortunately couldn't read it satisfactorily. But of course, the work was taken up by Charles Mason, who also collected thousands of coins and realized, of course, one side, I'll show you the coin itself. Can you see this coin? Very interesting. Now, on one side, this is called as obverse, generally in the numismatic term, and this is the reverse. Now, over here, this is the coin of generally the Indo-Greeks. I'll tell you the ruler later on. On one side, there is this Greek script. On the other side, you have Kharoshti script. So this is what was one of the key things that helped the scholars to actually decipher these scripts, because whatever was written in Greek, same thing was written in Kharoshti. So this became very easy to decipher Kharoshti script. You won't believe, in fact, there was Indo-Greeks, we all have heard about the Indo-Greeks. Because of this particular coins and thing, we almost know more than 30 kings only by these coins. There's no other written records anywhere elsewhere. So only with the help of these coins. And in the initial period, Charles Mason, of course, worked more on this Menander and Apollodotus coins. And hopefully, of course, at the end of the class, definitely you will be able to read what is there over here. And of course, James Spencer, who deciphered Rapi very satisfactorily, also contributed heavily in this script as well. So he took forward this work of Charles Mason and read more 12 names and 6 titles of the Indo-Greeks and the related kings in this Kharoshti script. And of course, it was later on carried away by E. Norris and Alexander Cunningham. And this is how the work was carried out. And we have the script was completely deciphered. And see, on one side there is this Greek legends, and on the other side we have Kharoshti legend. The main sources from which we study Kharoshti is, of course, the primary archaeological sources. There is, of course, the Ashokan inscriptions at Shahbazgari Mansehra, which is Pakistan, of course, and coins of Indo-Greeks, Indo-Scythians, Indo-Parthian. Many of the Kshahrata kings, you must have heard the famous ruler Nahapan. His coins have also legends of Kharoshti. Then tribal coins in India, such as Vrishnis, Kunindas, have Kharoshti script on it. And of course, many of the early coins of Kushanas, many of the inscriptions were in Kharoshti, and a huge amount of manuscripts I found from this site in Nia and many of the other Central Asian places in China that has the evidence of Kharoshti, and that has also provided enormous data, which is the topic in these days scholars are working on, and this is the current what do I say the academic discussions going on much on these manuscripts these days, which is, I think you all must definitely go through it later on. So I won't waste much time on the theory. We'll directly jump on the script, how it actually looks like. And once you know all the letters in Kharoshti script or how it is written, you can immediately go on the actual archaeological data, actual inscription, actual coin, and can actually decipher and can read it well. Now, there's very interesting thing that is there on the screen. There's, I don't know if any of the student can say what is missing in the list of vowels. Can anyone say? Anyone?
स्टुडंट्स कोणाला काही बोलायचं आहे?
काय vowels मध्ये काय मिसिंग दिसत आहे?
नारायण बोलो. नारायण अनम्यूट करो और बोलो. नारायण अनम्यूट योर माइक. नाउ यू कैन अनम्यूट.
हाँ सर, आवाज येतो सर?
हाँ बोला.
हो
सर य र ल व च श गायब आहे सर.
नाही, श आहे ना खाली. वॉवल्स मध्ये लॉंग वॉवल्स गायब आहे. यू कैन अनम्यूट अगेन. ओके.
वॉवल्स मध्ये आ मोठा ई.
Yes, long vowels. So basically, okay, you can again unmute